Ole mole. Ole mole.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is a Candid Conversation.
Ole mole.
Ooh, good ring today. We had a flubber last week.
Did we?
Yeah. Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago where it was like, Mom.
Can't remember that. Oops.
Yeah, so we're good. So, Can, on your Candid Conversation, see what we did there, folks? It's named after her because she's one that usually
It's
comes
not
up.
named after me, but it does have, my name does spell Candid. It's not named after me. It's Candid just means let's have an open, honest conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
What do
what
we
these
got?
are. We're going to watch a video and then we're going to talk about what she talks about,
All
what she
right.
brings up. Okay.
And then I have a little surprise for you at the end.
Oh, joy.
We're going to check and see how accurate you are.
But what?
Don't worry about it.
Just play the video I sent you. All right, buddy?
Where are they hiding the 47-year-old trad wives? That's what I want to know. That's what I think about every time I see one of these videos from like a 19 or 20-year-old talking about having no job and no degree and she loves it and it's amazing. Where are the trad wives that are my age, that are 47, that are 50? Why are they not out there espousing how amazing this lifestyle is? I think we know. I think other women my age probably know because we have been on this earth long enough to see what happens when you tie yourself for life to an ultra-conservative, ultra-misogynist movement. It does not end well. You end up destitute and divorced because you had no financial security, you had no job history, or you end up with a life that is not particularly appealing to young women on Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest. And I realize that sounds mean, and maybe it is mean, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. Like, there is a reason that conservatives are asking 19 and 20-year-olds to recruit other young women. They know if they put a video out with like the average middle-aged trad wife and showed what her life looks like day to day, what she gave up her rights for, what she gave up her freedom for, I do not think that most young women in this country would be so eager to sign up. Where are they hiding the 47-year-old?
Okay. Here, they're hiding him right here. I was basically a trad wife.
You're not 47.
And not because, no. Okay, I'm 49. She's also said 50. All right. Don't be rude. Okay, so I basically was a trad wife without knowing I was a trad wife, right? Not because you were
a number of years, yeah.
Yes, and not because you were enforcing it. It was the system. I blame the system, not men. Okay? So the system, basically, if we wanted to live right for Jesus and be this wholesome Christian whatever family, I think I was pregnant with our third when I completely stopped working outside the home. I was homeschooling. I mean, I was working very part-time, and then I started a homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, because you were frying donuts for me and throwing up when you got
yeah, it was terrible. But I gave up getting a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up continuing to pursue any career dreams. I really didn't even dream them because I was kind of steering that direction. I didn't know that. I never thought I would be like a stay-at-home mom. I didn't know that's what would
let's
happen.
get into that a little bit there too with the college degree and everything. You were never really encouraged, were you?
No.
You just kind of did
My
it
parents
all.
never asked me what my future was. It was just to get married and have children.
They never helped you with college.
Mm-mm.
They never helped you try to get in, do the paperwork, all that stuff.
Not
it was
even
just
get
kind
signed
of,
up.
oh, you're going to do that? Have fun.
I don't think they really liked that I was doing it because they had a bad taste in their mouth.
Well,
I don't know why.
Education produces
because
liberals.
Education, it was kind of shamed in the Christian, world. My parents didn't have college degrees.
No.
But my mom worked. She did work all her life, But I wanted to I like working. So when I started to stay at home, I was a lot of DIY. I'm big into that kind of stuff. I had to keep myself busy and my mind sharp enough. But here's the outcome of it. I got to the point where I began to wonder, if he passes away, I'm fucking screwed. I don't know how to make money for myself because I'd have to start at the bottom. So I'm going to go back into where I was. I was actually working up through, I've been a bookkeeper at a store. I could easily have done that, but I didn't stay in that world. So I would have to start at the bottom again. I would be a sacker at a grocery store or a clerk at a grocery store. And, you do see a lot of people my age or older, like that's where they go. And I'm not shaming them, but that a lot of times because these women went out of the force to raise their children and they're completely dependent on their husband. We know people who the woman is completely dependent and she's in a marriage where that husband wants it to stay that way and doesn't even think about like, what if he passes away? And you weren't even really thinking that way. Like
No.
I was having fears like, hey, if something happens to him, I have to, on top of mourning, now I'm frightened because I don't have the financial means to take care of myself, or the children at the time. And so now I'm still like, I've had to start at the bottom. I started like,
Okay, Drake.
is it a song? I don't even know.
Started at the bottom.
But I literally did. I got to get back in the workforce. I started doing what I could. So I started working on the computer because I could still be home. And I was working for a company that transcribes videos. And I was making like $3 an hour.
Yeah.
I remember that. And that was like, I don't even remember when I started back into the workforce, 2012, maybe 13.
Somewhere.
Then I worked on a floor. I've just been working and then I'm getting some education to but it hasn't been beautiful. And we are still like financially, we're working towards financial freedom, if you will, or more security financially. But it cost us. Like, I want to like agree with her. Like, this is not the type of life, like when you're 20, you do not imagine being in a situation where, a few years ago, I walked around on a broken leg for 10 days because I was worried about how much it would cost to go in. Like, it almost makes me want to cry.
If you want
to go in and get it fixed.
Our first episodes were her in a cast. No video, but...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I walked around on that because in my mind, it was like, I don't want to spend the money on this if it's nothing, first of all. And if it's broken, like how much is this going to cost us, right? Yeah. Another reason universal health care would have been beneficial and I wouldn't have walked around on it. But so this is what it looks like. We don't have a huge nest egg. We don't have, because we were living paycheck to paycheck very desperately to do what God had called us to do. We were living on one vehicle. This is what it looks like. I went to thrift stores to buy clothes. I gave my kids, I would buy in bulk groceries and we'd freeze our milk. I would cut string cheese into thirds so that everybody would have like a little, like, that's what a trad wife looks like when you are having more children than you can afford, which we watched a video on one of our episodes where she's like, have more than you can afford, have more than you think you want or whatever. And we didn't plan necessarily, we didn't think through what 5 and 5 children would look like. I don't regret any of my children, but I'm saying like, we didn't know what we were getting into, but we were told to start having them young. And now, as he's built something for him financially, he'd be fine if I passed away. He would be able to just keep going on. Financially, he'd be all right. Not much would change. He would mourn the loss of me, but I would mourn the loss of him. And now, on top of that, I've got a huge financial burden. So that is what this trad wife movement or whatever this is. It's glamorous when you're young. Well, but when you get older, there are consequences for that.
Let's talk about that glamorous part a little bit, because you think of, you're not seeing people that were in our situation doing the trad life stuff a whole lot. Usually it's a young
20-year-old. Yeah.
20-year-old.
It's sweet. And it's
their husband,
it's a fantasy.
Yeah. The husband owns a business, or his dad, he's co-owner with his dad money or something like that. So there's a lot of money. So she's able to do herself up, all the makeup, all the clothes. They're able to do trips.
She's not in a t-shirt and sweatpants with barf on her from the kids. And
a nice big
the house
home.
is a mess. There's laundry. Yeah.
And it's all this, oh,
you're not seeing that.
You don't, she doesn't have the stresses that you had of, okay.
How are we going to make ends meet here? I remember when I would be like, we need a shower curtain, and I'm so scared. I don't know. Can we afford it? That's what it looked like for us at times. You know, it was so like, stressful. It was so stressful. And I don't, she doesn't say it on there, but like, eventually I was like, I need an allowance. I couldn't just buy things for myself. I could not buy things for myself. I had to I felt like I had to come to my daddy. You didn't know that you were feeling this, but I was like, can I get some money for this or whatever? And you didn't realize that was what was going on. But I felt guilt about spending any money on myself. They just glamorize it. They make it seem so. Yeah. And yes, when you're young like that, it's one thing to not have to, like, you get to be with your baby. And I don't regret when my children were little having those times with them. But I would, if I were to go back again, I would keep. First, I would dream of what I wanted to do when I got older, right? What career or how am I financially going to be able to take care of myself? I would have thought through those things instead of be completely dependent on a man that he could die at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen, and it just leaves a woman like helpless. And some of these women don't have anything in their names. Yeah. So they don't have any credit, or they don't show, and then they don't show people like in our situation, like she's right. They don't show the 47, 49, 50, year olds that did it when we weren't wealthy.
There's one or two. There's that one I can think of. She's probably in her 50s or 60s. That she's a real theological lady. Oh,
the transformed wife or something like that. Yeah. But first of all, whatever with her. She's so judgmental. At least she comes across that way to me. I don't want to be rude. That's one. And there's probably a few more, but also they're not showing her with her. They're not showing when her husband's still around providing for her, right? Yeah. And she's still dependent on him, like a little child. Like she doesn't get to go into this full grown adult with the autonomy to make decisions for herself. And also, I don't know how great those relationships are. I can't say what her relationship with her husband is like.
Well, there was that. So it's kind of on that topic. I'm not jumping off too far. But remember that one we were watching? I think we were watching a YouTube video about trad wives. And this one was talking about her husband got her a gift for her birthday or Mother's Day. And she's like, oh, is this a trip to Greece? He's like, no. And it was an egg apron. It was an apron to hold all the eggs.
She was like, acted like it was so great.
Yeah, but you could see the nonverbal stuff was like, oh, I would have liked the trip, to be able to go away with you and the kids. But the husband owned airlines or something like that, so it wouldn't have been hard for him to.
No, and he doesn't understand like these men. And you were not a guy that was pushing for this. I was the one that was like, hey, this is the type. I mean, you were in agreement with it, but I was like, we need to do this for Jesus, blah blah blah. But I think these guys don't understand what it's like to be it's like still living with parents in a way, because somebody's controlling all the decisions that you make. And like, you could just go to the store as a 25-year-old, you're going to buy, like, I want this, I'm going to get it, right? Or I'll save up and I'll get it. But over here, I'm like, I don't have any way of just doing that. I have to like, can we say, and also I don't think these guys realize. The women don't realize what their lives are going to look like, but these guys also don't realize what a relationship looks like that has always been about like the power dynamic being off like this. You're not a partner. Now you have this woman who's almost like she's just immature in some ways because she hasn't been able to experience these things or understand these things. Like she's kind of been stunted. Yeah. And I think that they aren't going to like the way that, I don't think the relationships flourish into a partnership. I think they turn into something that is usually not, people wouldn't want.
But I think one of the biggest things that can be taken from this too is you look at what's being pushed out there. So it is the 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. They're pushing it. That's who they're talking to.
Well-to-do. Look at what CPAC puts out when they have women speakers. It's young women. If they're pregnant, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Pregnant and beautiful. Oh, yeah.
And they're all
and white.
talking about this.
That's the ones they're going to
perfect
grab.
ideology on what's going. But again, they're well-to-do. They're comfortable in their lifestyle and how they're living day to day. But then they push this dream on people. See, it's so easy. I got this. My man is taking care of Jesus is providing for us so well. And
this
I'm
is what
able to
my
stay-
day-to-day looks
it's
like. And it's beautiful and angelic
Yeah.
looking instead of like stressful and you're tired. And sometimes you feel like you have no adult interaction when they're little.
Yeah.
And that's normal when you're raising kids anyways,
Yeah.
like you are tired.
And they got all the resources
continues.
possible to take care of what they need. We didn't have a dishwasher for 10 years.
We didn't even have grandparents that babysat for us at all. Yeah. We were struggling.
Yeah.
We were doing it all ourselves. Yeah, didn't have a dishwasher at times, one vehicle. And if that vehicle started to have problems, oh God, I remember the stress of that.
Yeah.
Just like that's what real life looks like for, I think the mass majority, this is what it would look like. If you try to follow what they're trying to push, that one
those people
income,
aren't creating content,
creating more babies.
They don't have time to
They
create
don't have
content.
time. No. And it's
or
like
the energy to create content.
Or some of them do, and then they start to get money maybe from making that content, and then their life looks different.
Yeah.
Right? And so they can create this image. But for the people who don't, and who are actually trying to live that life, it's not this beautiful life. There are moments of it feeling peaceful and enjoyable, but I don't know any woman that is a stay-at-home mom that is living on one income that lived like we did. I'm not talking about the super wealthy. I'm talking about your middle class, sometimes lower middle class. They're trying to do it what these people are pushing. They're trying to live that lifestyle of living on a single income, having more children than you can afford. And I don't know any of them that are super happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not fully. They'll pretend.
They don't have much of a personality either.
No, and the personality almost gets swallowed up.
The ones we know.
Yeah, the ones we know.
All right, let's listen. Now, that's our thoughts here.
Okay.
But we have a reaction to this video.
Is somebody else?
You haven't seen this, have you?
Oh, her reaction.
Where are they hiding the
it's not. Might want to rewind it a little bit.
47-year-old trad wives? They're all in my comment section. It's totally incredible. Former trad wives in their 40s and 50s and 60s really issuing a warning to the younger generation about what it looks like 20 or 30 years from now when you give up your education, you give up your career in order to get married young or stay at home or be financially reliant on a man. What it looks like to be left with nothing, with no money, with no job experience, to be left by yourself, to pick up the pieces of your life and having very few of those pieces left to pick up. Honestly, the whole comment section should be required reading for any woman who's considering becoming a trad wife, right? But I just want to say thank you to the women who are sharing their stories. Those are not easy stories to share. And I think it's incredibly brave and generous, honestly, to relive those experiences in order to warn the next generation. Where are they hiding the 47-year-old trad wives? They're all in
This is interesting to me because, first of all, like, kudos to her for asking this question, right? Are you getting open one?
I'm trying to get
Just extend that little red box.
I can't on this because it's in that screen that way.
Can you just read it? Is this is me? Is that the one you want to read?
Well, all of them are going to be like that.
Well, and I want to say like, okay, or this is my mom. This is, there's something she said in there that now I lost my train of thought.
On this one, there's 671 comments.
Yeah. I mean, so like we're out here and we're telling you it doesn't end up, and I've said it before on the podcast. This is not what you guys want. You have created a fantasy and keep working. Like I would tell any of my children or anybody who else, just keep some sort of way of making income. Don't completely fall off in that area, and don't stop having hobbies and dreams. Don't do that because you will pay for it later. One thing I'm so grateful for is I've never just stopped having like creativity and doing, I did hold to that. But like I would say financially, we are behind our peers. And obviously career-wise, I'm behind my peers. And, a lot of people just think, oh, it might end in divorce, but I won't get a divorce. My husband and I love each other. It's not always divorce. It's death. It's sickness. What if you got super sick and couldn't work? I would have to have some sort of, and now, yes, I am working towards building something, but what do I do in my day-to-day? What's my day-to-day look like? I still do a lot of the housework and all of that, but I am building, as I'm building this art and hypnotherapy kind of stuff going on. As I'm building that, I have to deliver groceries. That's what I do a lot of the time is I work side hustles to bring in enough income to help. But I like to bring in some income, and that feels good to me.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I feel like an adult that can care for herself, because at one time I was making money for myself and then I gave it all away to be completely dependent again. And I'm just saying, it doesn't end with this beautiful picture. You got to start at the bottom and build your way back up. And you're doing it when people who are your age are far ahead. And so it's a lot of work, and it's humbling. It's humbling to be delivering groceries at 50 years old, for sure. Though, I'm not staying there. I am working on building something, but that is what it looks like. That is the truth of what this leads to if you live this lifestyle and you are not like some millionaire and you're not set, you're not set up in that way. And you can't just bank on your husband never divorcing you. You can't bank on, you just don't know what the future is going to bring. You have to be able to take care of yourself. And that's what I would warn people of.
Yeah. So, cautionary, just going through some of these, looking at them. A lot of them are divorced, or one of them, mom had a heart attack.
This one said we lived in severe poverty. I remember one time looking at what the poverty level of what you should be able to have for groceries, and we were well below making enough to make that. And it's not because you weren't working hard, because you were busting your ass. You were working 2 jobs at one point. Working 100 plus hours a week. You were exhausted, which meant I felt like there were so many times I felt like a single mom, because you were working so much. And it was because we were trying to live that trad life. We were trying to be what that was. And people would look at it from the outside. Oh, it's so beautiful. It was.
And the simple logic of it is that the trad life was possible back in the 50s and 60s, but the economy switched and it's not possible anymore. You can't live off of one income unless you're making $400,000 or $500,000
and not be funny.
Yeah,
you can do it, I guess, but you're going to be.
It's going to be tough.
You're going to be scrounging. You're going to be cutting string cheese into thirds.
Yeah.
So.
And then a lot of the comments was the husband cheated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, because I'm not giving husbands an excuse, but first of all, she's running ragged. She is she feels underappreciated, if appreciated at all. I remember that. And it wasn't your fault, but it was just me. It was just the dynamic of the situation. I was so stressed, and there was this undercurrent of my nervous system couldn't relax because I was always afraid. What if something happens? What if, I don't have control at all. I have no control over what is going on in my life, because I can't even provide for myself, and I'm a grown-ass adult. And I feel like as I started to come out, I started to feel more adult. I think I felt less adult when I was, even though I was raising children and everything, but I was so dependent on somebody else. It's just, don't do it. Just, no. I'm not saying don't raise your children and be home if you want to. If that's the lifestyle you choose, but stay working somehow. Stay in your hobby. Stay in your dreams. Keep your dreams too. You're not just a mom and a wife. That's not all there is to you. That's part of you, but it is not all you are. And don't there's so much more that you have to give to the world. Don't take that out of the world. Yeah. That's all I would say.
Perfect. So, cautionary tale. So, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like, smash that subscribe, follow. Helps move us along on that platform. We appreciate any help you can give us. And it gives us a little ego boost too when we see more people. If you're listening on a traditional Spotify, Apple stream or whatever, give us 5 stars. And that helps push us in the algorithm there also. And if you want to reach out to us, get a hold of us, see what we're doing, go down in the comments below, and then we'll have a link down there to danandcan.com. Click on that, and you can get a hold of us, look what we're doing, and all that good stuff there. So, but yeah, it's a cautionary tale. You got to look out for yourself. And the more you're not dependent on someone else and their wealth and health and everything else, and you can actually be able to take care of yourself somewhat too, the less anxiety you're going to have when you get older.
True.
So
that does reduce anxiety. And I will say, like, now, like, my goal is to like be able to financially provide enough that you could not work if you didn't want to, but
that's
also
my goal too.
But
I need a
also
sugar mama.
But also so that when and if you pass away before me, I can just mourn our relationship rather than mourning and freaking out at the same time financially.
I'm working on becoming the trophy husband for her too right now. Yeah. So she has some arm candy for Candy when she's making all the money.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.